You know, there's rumors going around that the upcoming 6th generation Toyota 4Runner is going to be built in Mexico. And a lot of us 4Runner owners love to boast about the fact that the 4Runner has always been manufactured in Japan. And that's why the build quality is better than some of the other Toyota vehicles that are built in North America, blah, blah, blah. But what if I told you that the first 4Runner was not actually built in Japan? It was built in the USA. And it wasn't called a 4Runner.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let's dive into the story about how the original Toyota 4Runner came to be, and you might be a little bit surprised of how it all started. Let's go back to the early 80s, and a guy called Jack Safro owned his own Toyota dealership in Brookfield, Wisconsin. And he had this idea to essentially create an SUV, but they weren't SUVs back then, they weren't really known as that. He wanted to take one of the Toyota Hilux pickup trucks that he had a whole bunch of on his lot, and he wanted to put a bench seat in the back and put a fiberglass canopy over top to kind of make it like a station wagon. And so he thought, who am I going to get to create this idea for me? Well, he reached out to Winnebago, of all companies.
Welcome to Winnebago's grand giveaway.
Because they had a bunch of experience with converting the Toyota Hilux pickup truck into campers. And part of that experience was knocking out the back wall of the pickup truck so that it was a walk-through passage that you can get from the driver's seat into the back. That same concept is how you would create essentially a station wagon or an SUV. And so Winnebago started manufacturing these vehicles for Jack Safro, and they were called the Toyota Trekker. After selling about 1,500 of these Toyota Trekkers, it actually caught the attention of Akio Toyoda, who, if you're not familiar, he's the grandson of the guy that started the Toyota company. And so he flew all the way to the good old US&A to figure out what the heck was going on with these Toyota Trekkers. And once he saw what was happening, he kind of took it as like a third-party market test. And it was already proven that there was a demand for this vehicle. And so he went back home to Tokyo and told those guys, hey man, we got to build this vehicle ourselves. No more aftermarket conversions. It's got to come directly from Toyota. Back then, an advertising firm called Saatchi & Saatchi used to hold contests to come up with names for the forthcoming Toyota vehicles. And so that's exactly what they did with what was about to be the Toyota 4Runner. The winner, of course, was Robert Nathan, who came up with the name 4Runner, hinting at its four-wheel drive system and the fact that it can run off-road. I like to think that by saying that it runs off-road, that was kind of a hint at it being more of a higher speed off-road vehicle versus the Bronco and the K5 Blazer, stuff like that. They were more kind of sluggish rock crawlers. And then the 4Runner is kind of light and nimble, and I think maybe that had something to do with the runner name as well. There's also some belief that it was a play on the word 4Runner, as if it was a forerunner to the other competition, or it was a new idea and it was the first of many more to come, perhaps, and many more following. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, though. So anyways, in 1984, the first Gen 4Runner was officially manufactured in the Tahara, Japan plant, and that's what started it all. It was still essentially a Toyota Hilux pickup truck underneath, and that didn't change until the 3rd generation 4Runner, where it kind of strayed and went on its own path. Still has a body-on-frame SUV, but not directly converted from a pickup truck. And so, as they say, the rest is history, and we're getting pretty close to the 6th generation 4Runner being released now, and I think we can all agree that there was never a bad generation of the Toyota 4Runner. And ever since that first Toyota Trekker, they've all been built in Japan, and they've all been held to a certain standard of quality that has just been unmatched with anything else, any other competition. But yeah, I thought you might find that interesting that the first 4Runner wasn't actually a 4Runner, and it was built in Wisconsin, of all places. Anyways, I hope you guys found that interesting. If you did, comment below, like the video, do all that crap, and I will catch you on the next video. See ya.